Welcome, ladies. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to day 2 of this 2-day challenge. I'm so freaking excited to see you guys. Hey, hey, hey. I'm seeing some familiar faces from yesterday and some brand new people as well logging on for today. So I'm so freaking excited. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Say hello, pop your names in the chat, introduce yourself. Where are you calling in from today? Where are you? And how many of yesterday's sessions have you already watched at the time of watching this? Or is it something that you're going back catching the replay? Someone asked me today, can I come along today if I haven't managed to catch yesterday's one? And I was like, absolutely, yes. And also, it will make more sense if you're following along in order, but 100% get yourself in the room always. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I am so freaking excited. So today we've got the two parts to today. And so we've got energy right now, and then the S in sales, which is strategy. If you have watched all of the ones going through, you'll know it's a SALES for sales. And so we've covered service, as in your incredible service, the offers and the way that you're delivering your sales and providing that excellent standard. We did A for authority, so breaking that down into your positioning and your messaging so that you've got that really high level positioning and messaging, making your authority clear. Then we had L for leadership, so your embodied leadership, how you hold yourself, the standards that you have for yourself and your clients, being the leader that people want to invest in. Then today we're coming on to energy, which I'll come into a second. And then this afternoon we've got strategy. So that is your actual strategy to be able to scale to 50 to 100K months by the end of 2026. Whoosh. Now, a couple of updates because whoop, 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 whoop. Firstly, you lot are gonna think that I'm absolutely insane, and I am. I am 100% insane because when I was writing the session for this afternoon around strategy, initially I was looking at all the different pieces and packing it into one session, and I was like, it is criminal to be trying to pack this level of content into one session because content in itself needs a session on its own. When we're talking about the leadership standard, who you're becoming, how you're elevating yourself above and beyond your industry, becoming the standard in your industry, it would be remiss of me to just touch on content as part of a wider session. And so I'm doing the absolutely insane thing. I'm creating a 6th session in this series just around content because your leadership is so set above and beyond. When we're talking about being the standard, becoming the standard, your content is what sets you head and shoulders above everybody else. Your content is what puts you into a league of your own. Your content is how you get your premium clients coming to find you and be like, hell yes, she is for me. And so I'm going to be delivering a whole separate session on content as part of this 6-part series. Whoop whoop! See you guys in the chat like, oh my God. And so, yes, that is going to be happening tomorrow on Friday. So I'll pop the link inside the Facebook group with the timings for that. I need to double check my diary, but we're going to be having a whole separate session on content tomorrow. So really, really freaking excited for that. So coming into today, let's get into energy. Because when I was first creating this session, obviously the first thing that came to me was main character energy, because that is something that I've been talking about for years now. It's something that I've embodied. It's something that I've become known of all over the world for. It's the thing that people will message me from Sydney through to Canada because they saw something and thought of me, whether it was main character energy on a sign or like a color or a vibe or like a signpost or a t-shirt. And I get people sending me things about main character energy all the freaking time, and I absolutely love it. And that's something that has become integral to my brand and the way that I teach sales. Now, when it came to this, I was like, yeah, I could go into main character energy, but you guys already know that. There's so much, whether you've been to my events, whether you've been like binging the podcast, whether you've come along to my trainings, like I've been speaking about main character energy for years. And so would I be serving you at the best level when we're thinking about the leadership standard here? to just deliver another session on you embodying your main character energy and what that looks like in your business and how you discover your unique edge and how you bring that into your business. No, because you guys already know that. Yes, I could deliver a session on how you harness your main character energy and how you bring that into the business. But there's already a realm of trainings on that, whether it's on the podcast, whether you've come to my events. And so maybe I'll put it inside a separate podcast episode to bring it up to date for 2026. But I wanted to lead you guys at a higher standard. Because when we're talking about premium sales, when we're talking about your leadership standard, when we're talking about the version of you who is scaling to 50 to 100K months by the end of this year, you already know how to own your thing. You already are. You're already known for your unique twist on things or your unique edge or the way that you do things differently. Like that's part of your positioning. You already bring that into your content. You're already either becoming known or are known for your unique way of doing things. The unique way that is either part of your story or a discovery that you made or who you became along the way that's completely unique to you. You've already harnessed that. And so I wanted to take this energy piece further, as in the energy behind premium sales, because there's a lot of people who are able to sign low to mid ticket or what they might call high ticket clients, and it be like a 4-figure offer. But then there's a blockage when people are selling like 5 and 6-figure offers. So we really wanted to come and talk about the energy behind premium sales, your CEO energy, your identity, capacity, self-regulation. So this is going to be a nice follow-on strategy, nice follow-on session. If you've already watched the embodied leadership session that we did yesterday, the third one, part 3, this is going to land really nicely. If you haven't gone back and watched that just yet, absolutely fine. You can catch up on that one. These two will overlap nicely. So some things that we're going to get into here with the energy behind premium sales. The frequency behind you selling between, let me start that again. The frequency difference between you selling from conviction and certainty versus you selling from urgency and need and desperation. We're going to look at your nervous system capacity, your ability to actually hold more, regulating yourself before selling, being the person that you need to be in order to scale, and selling from steadiness, groundedness, and conviction. So you're going to be able to walk away from this session. Let me know if this is landing for you, if you're excited for this. You're going to be able to walk away from this knowing not just how to show up and sell with just a whole different level of confidence and conviction in your business, but how when you're moving for those bigger challenges, whether it is more revenue, whether it is bringing in higher ticket clients, whether it's higher pricing, whether it's scaling the number of people in your world, whether it's growing your team, all of those things are going to require a different level of leadership from you, and a different level of capacity and groundedness from you. So you're going to be able to walk away from the session knowing not just how that is infiltrating into your sales if we haven't got this locked down yet and the impact that it's having, but also some tangible things that you can do. I've come up with 9 different things that you can do to be able to increase your capacity to allow you to be able to sign more premium clients from such a different level of energy and frequency. Are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? How excited are you? Out of 10, let me know in the comments. If you're watching the replay as well, let me know in the comments, how excited are you for this session? I'm just going to go ahead and say, obviously I haven't recorded the other ones later, so we'll see, but I think that this might be my favorite session. Woo! I am excited. So just going to recap for those of you who wanted, based on what I'd said on the messaging on the sales page, you will come into this based on wanting to discover your main character energy edge. This is part of your positioning. This is you discovering what you do differently or how you do it differently or what you want to be known for. This is part of your branding. And so in hindsight, if I was going to re-record this, I would put it inside authority and positioning. Your unique thing that you want to be known for. This is how you become famous and become globally recognized for a thing. When I said people message me all around the world because they see main character energy, like sales is my niche, is my specialty, but the way that I do it differently is you embodying your main character energy. And that's what makes you magnetic, and that's what makes your ideal clients want to come to you. Somebody else might teach sales through a purely like systems way or purely messaging way, or might do purely high ticket or might do purely low ticket. Everybody's got their way of doing their specific thing. So, what is it that you've discovered? This is part of your story, something that's completely unique to you. No one can tell you what your thing is. No mentor can tell you what your thing is. You should already know it. And if you know it, own it. Shout about that thing everywhere. Embody it, demonstrate it, relate it to every freaking thing that you do until until everybody knows about it. And let me tell you right now, it is going to take a lot longer for you to build this thing and to become globally known for this thing than whatever you expect it to take. When I was talking about main character energy, I talked about MCE, main character energy, in almost everything I did for about 2 years straight. So I've had people ask me like, "Oh, how do I become known for a thing?" You talk about it until you're blue in the face, because I guarantee there are people in your world, even if you think that you've spoken about your thing quite a lot, you haven't. There are people in your world who watch your stories every day, they see every post, they watch your videos regularly, they come to all of your trainings, they may have even been to one of your events, and they still don't know what you want to be known for. They don't know your unique edge, they don't know your twist. You need to talk about this thing endlessly. When I was building like my brand around main character energy, I used to bring that term into every freaking thing I did. I used to take pictures of my breakfast and talk about how it gave me main character energy. I used to take a picture of what smoothie I was ordering and talk about how it gave me main character energy. I'd talk about how I slept well that night and how that would give me more main character energy. Like whatever it was that happened, good or bad, I would relate it back to how that gave me more main character energy. If something good happened, I'd be like, oh, it's because I attracted it with main character energy. If something bad happened, I'd turn it into a story, turn it into a post, and I'd be like, I can't move main character energy. Like, whatever happened, it was a story piece for me to own it and turn it into main character energy. So, what is your thing, and how can you find a way to relate every little thing in your day back to that thing? Because that's how you build a brand. That's how you become known for something. And that's how much you need to talk about it to become known. And especially when we're talking about becoming famous, becoming globally known for this thing, you need to talk about it until the cows come home. Talk about it endlessly. Now, I wanted to just give you that little positioning piece so that you've got your main character energy edge covered off before we come into energy as a frequency. Your energy is magnetic. Are you excited for this piece? Your energy is magnetic. You are either attracting people or you're repelling people. This is the push versus pull in sales. And a lot of people have that old school, that's still a distrust around sales because in some point, either in their life or they've watched it in the movies, but they've seen that push sales, as in someone being pushy, coming towards them, urgency and a like limited time, gotta move now, and that restriction and that speed and that uncomfortableness that it creates, versus attraction marketing and embodied leadership that is the complete opposite of push. If anything, it's pull, it's magnetizing. It's the difference between, if we were to say like push sales and that old school like bro marketing, is like a tell rather than an ask. It's an insist rather than an invite. Whereas pull sales is more of a attraction. It's an invitation for someone to work with you, whilst also being completely cool with it if they don't want to, because you're grounded in who you are and the right person will come along and find you. It's a totally different energy. P.S. The second one, that attraction and invitation, versus the pull, tell, insist. Totally different frequency, way more inviting, way more incentivizing in a good way, as in it draws people in. People want to come towards someone that isn't coming towards them. They're not chasing, they're not pushing, they're not telling, they're grounded, they're cool. And so if I was to talk about systems in business, you would likely think about tech. Am I right? You might think about tech, you might think about platforms, you might think about software, you might think about funnels. But what about your nervous system? What about that main system that underpins absolutely everything that you do? Which is the first system to actually arrive in your business. It's been with you since day one. But how much have you put into advancing your nervous system in line with advancing your business? When you've been thinking about building new tech and increasing your team and welcoming new clients into your world and increasing your pricing and all of this more on the business, have you been stretching your capacity to be able to hold more in line with that? You've been adding more Lego bricks over here, over here, over here. Have you actually built stronger internal foundations to be able to hold all of these extra bricks that you're adding? Your nervous system is part of your sales system. Let me know if you needed to hear this today. Your nervous system is part of your sales system. Where have you been neglecting your nervous system because you've been so focused, especially for those of you that are the more strategy focused girls, the ones who focus on the method, the formula, the launches, the systems, the platforms, the how. Where have you not been increasing your capacity and your nervous system ability to be able to hold all this level of more that you're bringing in? Your nervous system is part of your sales system. This is where the training where you realize that effort alone hasn't been the issue. Your capacity has. So many times I see, and I've done it myself, but I see it with clients as well, that simply trying to force more or do more strategy or post more or go harder, put more hours in, but it's coming from a frequency of lack. That's never going to create more abundance because you've hit a capacity limit. There's something internally in your body that's saying, I'm not ready for more. And that's coming across in your frequency. And no amount of posting more, selling more is going to be able to outwork the frequency of, I'm coming from a place of lack. When it comes to premium sales, and we're talking the higher cash months, the bigger sales, the bigger results, the more cash flow, none of those things respond to how badly you want the outcome. So especially for those of you that are really like goal orientated, or you've got your eyes on a certain milestone, maybe it's like a cash flow number and a new number of clients that you want signed this month. It's a specific tangible outcome that you want. Wanting it more isn't going to make it happen if you're selling it from a state that is wishy-washy. It's not grounded, it's unregulated. So you can be doing all the right things of, I'm going to post consistently, I'm going to show up daily, I'll just show up more if you're already showing up daily, I'll do more money-making activities, I'll follow up with that person for the 5th time, I'll go on my sales page, I'll refine the messaging on there for the 10th time, I'll send another email. But still, clients aren't signing at the rate, frequency, price point that you wanted or expected. Whilst you know that you're capable of 20K, 30K, 50K, 100K months, you know that you've got that in the tank. But it's not happening. And this is where, if people are just doubling down on the strategy, it's not a strategy issue. You just doing more isn't going to help. It's a sign that your nervous system isn't calibrated for the level that you're trying to play at and trying to sell at. Let me know if this is landing for you. So this session is about capacity, not strategy, not motivation. So let's get into the juicy stuff. People often stall when their business is outgrowing their identity, or their strategy is asking for a level that their nervous system cannot yet hold. It's not been prepped to hold. It's not been trained at that level yet. Or sometimes they stall because they're selling from a place of desire rather than knowing. They're selling from a place of what they want to happen, what they hope to happen, what they're pinning their hopes on, rather than the certainty of what they know that they can hold. So this looks like over preparing before selling, rewriting posts endlessly, updating your messaging the 20th time, waiting for the right moment, delaying your launches, waiting for more people to move, waiting for more signups before you take action, waiting for the algorithm to finally show that perfect post you created to your ideal client. The emotional highs and lows that you feel around sales. Relief when someone says no, because that means that you don't have to take on that work or that client or that capacity. Or relief when someone says yes because you were relying on it, because you needed it. That relief is a clue. It's a clue that your system didn't feel safe. You're putting all of your needs on this eventuality. There's no, if you're outsourcing your groundedness onto something external, whether that's new clients landing, new cash flow coming in, you're outsourcing your base. When we think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and I actually did teach this at Main Character Energy. Was it the first one? The second one? I can't quite remember. But if you know Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we can't progress as humans when we look at what we need most. That first one is stability. It's physical security. So until your safety is taken care of, you can't progress into the other things like psychological happiness and fulfillment and joy and like all the other things that we enjoy as humans unless your core safety is taken care of. So if you're chasing like the next client, the next cash flow, you're outsourcing your foundations, and it's no wonder then that your capacity and your nervous system don't feel safe. It's because you're putting them onto something outside of you. In order to feel safe, in order to feel grounded, in order to feel certain in yourself, your own safety needs to be taken care of. Because if your body associates higher prices with risk, or more visibility with threat, or more money with more responsibility, bigger group sizes with bigger pressure, or higher level clients with bigger challenges, then it's no wonder that everything that you do subconsciously, you're actually blocking. Your energy is saying, I don't want this. This isn't safe. This doesn't feel good to me. No amount of strategy will outwork an energy and a frequency that is saying, please no. Please, I don't want this. Please, I'm begging for this. Or please, I'm trying to push this away from me. And it won't be clear to your audience. Sometimes it is. Sometimes you can feel the desperation behind someone's words, behind someone's messaging. You can see when they're off kilter. But you won't always know why that is, but you can feel it. It's an energetic frequency. Side note, but on this, this is also why this kind of comes into embodied leadership and a little bit into strategy and definitely into content. But when people overly outsource their power to AI and outsource their messaging in a wanting to save time, and I get it, but where you outsource your power, you actually outsource your own magnetic energy, your own frequency. And so I've watched people who I know write really good content, who then 5 minutes later I'm reading a chat GPT post and I can tell when chat has written it. And I'm like, oh, where's your energy and frequency? Yeah, that's chat's words. Great. But now we've lost a little bit of respect for you because your own intention behind that post isn't there. Your own energy and the way that you would say it isn't there. ChatGPT has frameworks, so it's easy to pick it up in places. And this is not me saying, like, if you're someone that's getting better at content and messaging, then go for it. However, I'm going to give you the perspective of your ideal client would much rather read your words in the way that you intended it, in the way that you wanted to say it, and how you would say it, rather than outsourcing your words to AI and it just killing a lot of the intention and energy behind it and the frequency behind it. So I'm just going to offer you that. So coming back in. So if your body's associating more with I either risk or threat or I can't handle that or that's too much challenge, then of course, as you push for more, whether you're posting more, selling more, showing up more, trying to do more, you've actually got this internal resistance because your body's associating this level of more with some sort of internal harm, whether that's emotional, whether that's physical, whether that's just like the heaviness, perceived heaviness of more. So how this is coming into your energy. The frequency of certainty and full body conviction versus urgency. Because when we're talking about premium clients, when we're talking about you at your leadership standard, clients aren't responding to just perfect messaging. They're not responding to logic first. They respond to felt certainty. So there's two frequencies in sales. You've got the urgency frequency that we were talking about earlier of that push energy. So urgency frequency sounds like, I really need this to work, that you might be saying to yourself behind the screen. I hope they say yes. I'll explain it again. Maybe they didn't hear me properly or it didn't land properly the first time. I should follow up again. Maybe they didn't quite get it the first time, so I'll just message again. Even if all of your words are polished in that sense, and I can guarantee that they won't be, but even if your word perfect, the energy behind it is needy, it's desperate, it's rushed, it's tight, it's like you can feel it. You can feel when someone is relying on it, like it has to work, they're up against it. And people feel that. And it repels. It repels. It's the opposite of magnetic. It just sends people away because nobody wants you to be relying on them. That's not the sign of a grounded leader. That's not the sign of an embodied leader. Urgency is a sign of instability. That's not the energy of an embodied leader. Whereas on the flip side, certainty frequency, the other type of frequency in sales, is that groundedness that we were speaking about yesterday in the embodied leadership training of this is the offer, this is the process, this is available when it's available, or here's when it won't be available. I trust that the right people will move. Totally different energy. It's grounded, it's embodied, it's got that internal anchor. You're not putting your own safety and stability onto something external to you. You've got it. It's part of who you are. It's grounded in who you are. That frequency is the opposite of repelling. It's completely magnetic. People want to be part of that because you, with or without you, here's what I offer. Want to come? That is incredibly attractive to people. That's who people want to be around when we're looking at people who are going to be signing into your 10K, 20K, 50K packages, even 100K packages. They are looking for your certainty, not your word perfect messaging. They're looking for how grounded you are in yourself so that they can look at that and see how could this whole person hold me through challenge. So when you have that urgency frequency, when you're trying to push, you're actually energetically repelling people away. And even if you do sign people, because let's say you use real urgency tactics and it's like final offer, final sign people, or I'm gonna say here, messaging that is like shading people if they don't move has a desperation around it. Like if you're having to shame people for, like if they don't move, it's because they've got a shitty mindset or they're not empowered enough, or like, if you don't take action in 6 months, you'll still be where you are, and all of that like shame level messaging reeks of desperation. Let me know if you agree with this. I think when I see people doing this, I'm like, if you have to shade your audience to take action, you're not grounded in who you are. It's got like a bitter tone to it. And that's where the neediness comes through, in my opinion. So even if you sign clients from that energy, from this like you need this now, or otherwise you'll lose without me, or there's only 2 spots left and then it's gone, and that kind of like urgency, scarcity, like desperate or bitter energy. Even if, and like I know people do sign clients from that, but those clients are never going to be good clients for you because they came because they felt forced to. They felt like they had to. They felt like they were going to lose without you. And so not only are they coming from a place of feeling like their back's up against the wall and they've got no other choice other than you, but then they're going to put all of their expectations on you, and treat you like the savior that needs to do everything for them because you positioned yourself like that. So you're not going to be welcoming empowered clients into your world with that needy frequency, that needy energy. So those clients will be an absolute nightmare to work with, but you can only blame yourself for it. And hey, maybe you can relate to what I'm saying, as in you may have been guilty of this in the past. You signed someone that you know you shouldn't have done, or maybe there was like a lot of urgency, or maybe you were just, feeling a bit more pushy at that time, or used like more direct language, and you welcome people into your world that then just became a nightmare, expected loads of you, had like pedestaled you, but then got angry with you if they didn't get results straight away, had like unreasonable expectations of you. If this is landing, it's in your messaging and your frequency. It's because you weren't coming from the grounded frequency of, I know that I'm good and I'm good whether you choose me or not. You came from an energy of, I'm good, why aren't you seeing it yet? You can see these posts a mile off. So, what we're not going to do is that push energy and force people to sign up with us or make them feel like they have to. You don't want that energy in your business. You don't want it for yourself. And you don't want people coming into your world with that sort of impression or that sort of feeling. They're never going to excel themselves and feel great about themselves and feel in their own like embodied leadership and in full agency of their own results and what they're capable of doing if you've created that perspective. So I'm going to touch a little bit on how to regulate yourself before selling and then come into some juicy bits of things that you can get done to increase your capacity. So, regulating yourself before selling. Selling should never be like, you shouldn't be trying to calm yourself down right before you go sell your shit. That is not the frequency. If you've just had something bad happen that morning, if you just had something that has completely like either fired you up or really upset you or just shaken your world, probably not the time to be selling. Probably not the time where you're going to be creating your most inspired stuff. Take some time, whether it's just taking a minute or doing some things that you need to do, like, I don't know, have a workout or go move your body, or just take some time to ground before you do the things that you do for your business. So before you're posting, creating messaging, sending a DM, getting back to someone, getting on a sales call, sending a follow-up, writing an email, get inside your community, creating new things. Check in with your body and check in with yourself. Are you feeling like rushed, tight, needy, desperate, or just a little bit discombobulated or all over the place? Or are you open, grounded, relaxed, unattached, and solid in who you are and what you bring to the table? Because if it's the first one, pause. Either just take a couple of minutes, or if it's something serious, push it back until later so that you can deliver a far better version of you for yourself, your business, and your clients and your future clients, rather than just trying to push through force and it just all ricochets and all falls out. Whereas if you're coming from a open, groundedness, unattached, solid in who you are, then proceed. Move forward with that energy. Yeah. Sell from certainty, not from urgency. Because this is the difference between embodied leaders versus discombobulated leaders. Certainty and embodied groundedness means follow up once, yeah, cleanly. Simple, doesn't need to over explain. It's just simple check-in message. You're not chasing. You're not filling the silence because it feels awkward, because it doesn't feel awkward to you. You're grounded in who you are. You can hold the silence. You're not over explaining. And you're not making someone's hesitation or delay or even reply mean something. Whereas on the flip side, urgency in sales looks like you adding pressure or going back on your word or collapsing boundaries or doing things that you said you wouldn't do, over talking or trying anything that you can to save the sale, which I guarantee kills it. Premium sales, as this embodied leader that you're becoming, when we're talking about becoming the industry standard, means high emotional groundedness, certainty, conviction. How are we doing? How are we doing, guys? How are we doing on the replay? Let me know in the comments underneath if this is landing. We are going to get into the specific things that you can do to increase your capacity and sell from fuck yes energy. So that as you're growing the business and as you're adding more, you're not freaking out. You're getting in the energetic gym, the energetic frequency gym, so that as you add more, more clients, more revenue, more challenges, higher numbers, higher price points, bigger group sizes, bigger team, bigger challenges, more responsibilities, more leadership, more fires, not just problems, but like things that completely come out of left field. You're so much better equipped to deal with those things because you've increased your capacity to be able to handle those things. So let's get into 9 things that you can do to increase your capacity and sell from fuck yes energy. Number 1, get the fuck out of your comfort zone. With love. Get the fuck out of your comfort zone. If you don't have a high capacity to be able to handle a lot, I'm going to guarantee that you haven't stretched your comfort zone recently. Maybe that's because you haven't made an investment that stretches you. Maybe it's because you haven't put yourself in rooms where the conversation is at such a high level that it stretches you. Maybe it's that you haven't done something new within the business for a long time. Maybe it's that you haven't signed a client who they're such a high level that they encourage you to have to play more or play better to be able to serve that person or people at a high level. Maybe it's that you haven't done things where that make you feel uncomfortable. What is that for you? What brings you fear? When was the last time you walked into fear? Think about something that makes your blood run cold. Maybe that's public speaking. Maybe it's walking out on stage. Maybe it's creating a long video. Maybe it's launching that podcast. Maybe it's I don't know, being seen with certain people or at certain spaces. What's something that brings fear up for you, but that you go and do anyway because that's who you are? Stretching your comfort zone is something that you choose to do regularly because increasing your capacity is something that you do for future you. We're looking at seven-figure you. She increases her capacity by stretching her comfort zone regularly. So what is that for you? Number two is stretch your identity. You have been stagnant for far too long. If you want to increase your capacity, we need to stretch your identity. Where have you been stuck doing the same things, whether that's the same routine or going to the same places or talking to the same people, going to the same environments? You've just been doing the same for too long, and your identity has become complacent. You're basically using muscle memory. You're not actually active and alive and inspired by any of the things that you're doing or challenged by any of the things that you're doing. You could do it like the back of your hand. Where have you not been stretching your identity? Maybe number one and number two overlap here. And actually, you doing something big requires you to stretch. It gets you outside your comfort zone and it requires you to stretch your identity. What is that thing for you? Number three is unattach yourself from the outcomes and do more stuff just for the fucking fun of it. When was the last time you just did something because you wanted to? Not because there was a business reason to do it, not just because it made logical sense, not because it gave you a result. When was the last time you did something because you fucking wanted to? When was the last time you were in flow state? When was the last time you did something just for the joy of creation rather than the outcome? Bring some of this in. If you want to increase your capacity, we've got to increase your enjoyment of the thing and the process of creation and enjoying the journey, not pulling all our eggs in one basket about what the destination needs to look like and how we're going to get there. If you spend more time enjoying the process, the destination will happen anyway. Release your attachment from how it needs to look, how it needs to happen, or what specific outcomes need to happen, and get lost in the joy of the journey. Do more stuff for the fucking fun of it. Number four, move. If you want to increase your capacity, move. An object in motion stays in motion. Where have you not been in motion enough? Where is there not enough momentum in terms of your energetic capacity? Where either, and I'm not saying just like do more within the business. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about move your body more, move your environment more, go somewhere, like be someone who you go and chase change because that inspires you. Drive to somewhere new, travel to somewhere new, actually move both your body, your business, and your inspiration and your creativity. Because when you move, and I'm going to offer this to you as someone who I'm fairly sure has ADHD, but I've not like properly had it looked at. But if you're someone who either definitely has ADHD or you think that you might do, maybe this will help. I learned something about myself this year after seeing some content about it, and I was like, oh my God, that is me. Because I'd already talked about this thing with some of my loved ones and said how much better able I am to think when I'm on the move. This is why flights are really good for me. I have some of my best thinking when I'm on a flight. And I've noticed it also about trains, cars, anywhere where I'm moving. Doesn't matter if I'm driving or if I'm just a passenger. If I am on the move somewhere, even walking, because I'm going somewhere, thoughts processes come through so much easier. Inspiration and downloads and new ideas come through so much easier because I'm on the move. Now, apparently, the rationale behind this is when you're on the move, there's some sort of pattern. Running as well. If you're a runner, this is why. I get so many bloody ideas when I'm on the run. The amount of times I've had to stop, pull over, and just pour into notes because so much comes through. And it's because like running, there's a pattern, that reliable pattern. And so if you're someone who has ADHD and you can be having like 20 tabs open at once, that pattern gives you something to latch onto, and it actually gives you a rhythm that clears away a lot of the noise and allows more space for downloads to come through. And it's the same with like flying gives white noise. So again, that silences some of the background noise that you might have with your 20 tabs open. And I find it the same if I'm walking, if I'm anywhere that I'm on the move. It's almost like because life is going past me, it takes away a lot of just the chatter and general noise, and it allows me the space for brilliant ideas to come through. If that landed for you, amazing. I hope that it did. Let me know if you're someone that's like, holy shit, I've never actually put that two and two together. And when I'm on the move, some of my best ideas come through. And if you're listening to this, go move, move your body, or go move somewhere. Go like a long drive with your music on, or catching a long train, or getting on a flight. Flights are such great creativity places for me, both because I can have a nice nap and relax, but also I'm going somewhere there's that motion and the white noise and the spaciousness of I might be on here for 3 hours, 8 hours, 15 hours. I've got the time and the space to think. And so number 4 is move. An object in motion stays in motion. Get yourself in motion and see how many more ideas come through that allow you to then increase your capacity, because you've got rid of either the noise that was keeping you distracted, just unnecessary like thoughts, or just, yeah, stuff that might have rolled over of recent days, weeks, and even months that actually you're not helping yourself by holding on to. Number 5 is revisit yesterday's training on standards and hold them. If you want to be increasing your capacity, you need to be really clear on what your standards are, and you need to be holding them. So what are your standards? What are your non-negotiables? What are your things that are not up for debate? How much have you brought this into your content? What are you bringing to the table? And what have you done today to show people what you bring to the table? Not yesterday, not last week, not last month. What have you done today to show people what you bring to the table? Because your ideal client's looking today. There's ideal clients that have found you today, didn't know you existed last week, so they didn't see what you posted last week, or the masterclass that you held last week, or the launch that you did last month. They haven't seen any of that. What have you done today to show people what your standards are, who you're available for, and how they can have faith in you as the person, like as they're looking for the person that they want to go on their next long-term investment journey with? How are you showing the standards that you hold? That's number 5. Number 6 is separate your worth from your results. I know this is going to land for a lot of you, especially the high achiever girls, whether you're someone that loves the tangible stuff, loves the money stuff, it's very money driven, maybe you're ex-sales as well. All my high achiever girls want to win, and they wanted to win yesterday, and they want to win big, and they want to win more, and I get it. And I get the frustration, as in your results aren't matching up to the brilliance that you know you have. So I want to offer you this. Of course it hasn't. Of course your results don't match your brilliance yet. Duh. And they're never going to. Get comfortable with that. Your results are never, they're always going to be catching up to your brilliance, because you move at 100 miles an hour. You're always learning, improving. And so your results are never going to match up to your brilliance. And what a freaking opportunity that is, because most people would stay stagnant. Most people would get frustrated and just be like, oh, this isn't for me. Whereas not only will you bring an insane amount of results through because of that drive, because you're relentless, but also that fire that you have won't ever go out. So get used to, yes, your revenue or the impact that you're having will never catch up to the brilliance and capabilities that you know you have. But you've got to separate your worth from the results that are currently happening, because your results will always be behind what you're capable of. And they should be, because you should be constantly learning and growing. So separate your worth from your results. If you if self-doubt comes in every time that you either have a quiet period or someone says no, have a word with yourself. That is not you. Your worth doesn't change based on someone else's ability to say yes or pay you or pay in full. You don't need anyone else's validation to know who you are and what the fuck you bring to the table. And in your mission, of course, the world is going to take a while to catch on. You're here to make a global impact. You're here to make not just change for you, your clients, and your community. You're here to make generational change. You're here to change the world. So, when we're talking about that level of impact, when we're talking about you being the standard in the industry, when we're talking about all of your peers looking up to you in the industry because you set and hold the standard, of course, it's going to take a while for the world to catch up to your brilliance. Of course, it's going to take a while for those results to match where you're going because your vision is so big and so great. Everyone is always going to be behind you. There's always going to be a delay. That is not your problem. Keep looking forwards. Your worth is not based on any external validation. You know your brilliance. Own that. Number 7 is be grateful for what you are receiving already and welcome more of that. So, when we're thinking about increasing your capacity, where in other areas of your life are you receiving things? Acknowledge that receivership. What are you receiving in other areas? What are you holding in other areas? And how can you welcome more of that good thing? What does that look like for you? Maybe that's and I want to encourage you to think of different things here. Maybe that's receiving love. Maybe that's receiving gifts. Maybe it's receiving acts of service. Maybe it's receiving kind gestures. Maybe it's receiving gratitude and compliments. Where are you receiving other things, but that you've been so busy chasing after capacity and like more in the business that you've actually been completely blocked from good things that are coming into your life, and actually you've been ungrateful for them? When we're creating this magnetic energy, main character energy, and coming into a place of abundance rather than chase, you need to be grateful for the things that are already happening in your world. So what are you already receiving? Can you welcome more of that thing so that you can hold space for more of that thing? And then more things will want to come to you because you're a grateful receiver. I felt like that was quite a nice one. And now I'm going to come into a more hard-hitting one because I love to play good cop, bad cop. And so number 8 is stop consuming more than you're creating. We're getting back into after like more of the energetic stuff. Now we're coming into like more of the strategy stuff because stop consuming more than you're creating. If you don't have more capacity to be able to hold more, it's because you're taking on too much from other people. You're doing more learning than you are implementing. You're doing more listening to other people's opinions rather than stating your own. You're consuming too much of other people's content rather than posting your own. You're absorbing more of other people's value rather than creating your own. You're binging other people's assets rather than building your own assets to be able to be working harder for you in your business. You're constantly outsourcing your validation rather than moving from an inner knowing. You're putting your validation onto this next client or next win or next launch, this next thing, this next opportunity, rather than knowing that you're already grounded in who you are. It's no wonder your capacity is capped. You're looking externally at what everybody else is doing and what they're launching and watching another training before you do the thing that you already know how to do. More strategies are going to help you until you increase your capacity, until you stop like cutting off and finish one sentence, until you stop absorbing everybody else's stuff and do so much more flow from yourself. But you will block your own flow and block your own creativity and inspiration and ability to hold more if you're constantly absorbing everybody else's energy. You're not going to have that capacity to be able to hold more, do more, create more, serve more if your stress levels and capacity levels are already at like almost to the brim. because you've already absorbed everybody else's stuff that day. So that brings me to number 9, which is remember who the fuck you are. Remember the power that you hold. Your identity is not based on somebody else's ability to see your worth. It's not based on somebody giving you a yes. Be so for real. It is not based on any external things. And it would be frankly rude of you to expect anybody else to see your power, your potential, your capability before you're seeing it yourself and owning it yourself and demonstrating it yourself and living by it. It's not something that you feel on some days and don't on others, and that you waver in your own self-conviction. This is something you're solid in who you are, and you show up with that same level of intention every single day. Let me know if you enjoyed this. Those are the 9 things that you can be doing, actionable things you can be doing to increase your capacity so that you can have more of that fuck yes energy and welcome premium clients into your world so that you can be the standard, be the leader in your industry, set the standard. Oh, I freaking love this. Now, this is one of the things that it's not a one and done exercise. It's not a tick box exercise. It's not something that once you do it once, it's off your plate. This is something that is always going to be something that you're increasing your ability to do more, to hold more, increasing your capacity. The size of your challenges is going to get bigger. The size of problems, the size of unforeseen things is always going to be increasing as you're scaling. And so it's really, really important that you get mentorship or be in a space that can hold you at when you're in that thing and can help you to not just move past it, but move through it and grow through it and help increase your capacity because of the environment that you're in, the people that you're around, the conversations that you're part of. And so if you're looking for a space that can hold you at that level, then my high level mastermind, She Scales, is the one for you. That's where we're scaling your ability to be able to hold more, not just bigger launches and more clients at a higher price point, but moving your identity, up leveling your identity to become the better leader, to be able to hold more of that. So we're scaling your strategy and we're scaling your identity along with that. So doors are opening very soon for She Scales Mastermind. If at the time that you're watching this is later down the line, come to the link underneath here and you'll be able to see it. Come and join us inside the She Scales Mastermind. This is a place for multi-6 and 7-figure women who are increasing their capacity, increasing their identity in line with growing their business to multi-6 and 7 figures. I hope that you enjoyed this training, guys. I absolutely love this one. This might have been my favorite one to date. And I will see you shortly for session 5 of now 6. I'll see you inside the next one. We have got your strategy to scale to 50 to 100K months by the end of 2026 happening today. And then tomorrow we have got the session on content, brand new, just decided on this morning. And so freaking excited. I shall see you there, ladies. Bye.